Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation life energy coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program. Reason why is because I've designed it myself. And another reason why I'm your favorite is because nobody spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. 2 to 3 times per week, we rendezvous via Zoom or via telephone call. Everything's recorded in my coaching for posterity, for you to re-listen, and certainly for me to re-listen also. Sometimes several times, certain passages certainly, in order for me to be able to take notes. I take some notes on the phone, for instance, over Zoom. I barely take any notes. I want to pay attention to everything you say to me. However, I take a tremendous amount of notes afterwards, and here's the reason, and this very important reason probably separates me from every other coach out there, bar none. It's because I want to really know the intricacies of your mind. I want to know everything. No detail is too small. I really want to understand how you operate, with what belief system, what drives you, what are your passions, what are your desires, what are your goals, in order to be able to help you 250% of my magicianship, to achieve the goals that you're after. In order to be in my coaching, you need to pre-book. Very important. I always get booked up every single day, sign the coaching agreement, and email me with the coaching agreement signed by hand, with your earliest availability to schedule a first session to discuss. Alternatively, you can also book a session alone, and then I can apply that amount to the monthly coaching. 2 to 3 months in coaching is what I recommend in order to achieve a real shift in your consciousness, in your perspective, in your energy, which is the most fucking important thing under the sun, and certainly understand how to manifest going forward, if not having already manifested a bunch of things, having quit your job, having started a new business. Different people, different stories. Sometimes people need a little bit more in my coaching. Sometimes 2 months is enough. It depends entirely on your situation, your schedule, and whatever issue that you're dealing with. And of course, it depends on your history. The more we process and coaching, the longer it takes. The thing is, though, I think you should really understand that this is a journey you'll be taking one time and one time only, if you show up and are ready to really work on this. And you will never need another coach again if you really do the due diligence, show up, like I said, to work and do your homework. If you rebuttal me, if you have your own ideas how coaching should work, I'm not the coach for you. You really should respect my methods and my process. It has worked 99% of the time. Okay, once in a while a person rebuttals me and they unfortunately do not derive any kind of benefit. Sorry, somebody was calling me as I was recording. Any benefit, not to the degree to which that I would have wanted them to. So the best idea is to let the coach do their fucking job. If you're going to a dentist, don't argue. It's just they know what they're doing, and I certainly do know what I'm doing. Like I said, been doing this for 9 years. If you have any questions, comment below, but the best idea is to email me. And again, the entry-level coaching packages are the Magic and Miracles monthly audios, which I recommend highly, as well as the video school. Now, I wanted to thank everybody for showing up in my live on Saturday. Really enjoyed that one. Came out really good. Good energy, even though, the shit show spammers showed up. And I wanted to say that the encore that is coming, basically, I decided to create this kind of private Zoom session, if you will, for 10 people, for up to 10 people, I should say. And so what that is right after the live, with a little break, everybody needs to go to the bathroom, this and that, we will have this group coaching, if you will. And what I decided today, I had this inspiration that each time is a different topic. In other words, I am coaching you. You will need to sign the coaching agreement upon booking. The links are on my website. I did not post. I'm not planning to post the link below because I already have so many fucking links. Just go to my website and find it, okay? It's the Zoom group session, Encore. It's called Encore. It's $150. And I might increase it later for sure. What we'll do this time around is I will discuss magic spells. So everybody and their mother have been emailing me and saying, Anna, I want to learn how to do the magic spells. I want to know how to do the magic spells. So I get it. I understand. I always listen to what people want me to talk about. This is why I started talking about SP so fucking much. Parenthesis here. Really didn't know it was a thing. I mean, I've said this many, many times. But all right, magic spells it is. So there you go. You can sign up, and to the best of my ability, I will answer everybody's questions. First, I will go over what you need to do and answer everybody's questions, again, up to 10 people. I would book immediately because these things, like once I announce them, they just go, you know. I don't know what happens. And then I get like pissed off people who didn't, you know, have the opportunity to book because I have to kind of like make them wait for the next time. But instead of you having questions of your own personal, which I kind of understand could be a little bit difficult, and maybe you're a private person, instead you can just attend, get the information, and then, you know, having kind of sampled my coaching, you can see if I'm the right coach for you. So that's something that I'm going to kind of do for the time being. I might skip a Saturday here and there, but it will be like a group session seminar. Now, I do real full-blown seminars separately. It's a separate booking. If you're interested, you can also we can also dialogue about that, basically going through my coaching program, etc. There's an all dayer, there's also a half a dayer. It's exactly how it is, you know. But so I create these things for people to be able to get as much exactly what they're looking for any kind of lifestyle. So I'm really, really inspired to actually record this. I was trying to talk it down as usual. I was planning to record something like on Thursday or something, but I was really inspired, and this will be a good one. And I'm gonna just title it. I don't really know actually what to title it, but I'm just gonna generally title it "USPs and Very Much in Love with You," and it's true. And I'm going to try to really reach the spot I'm reaching for. Because the way that it's in my head right now, the message I'm about to channel is really crystal clear. I think what really is a challenge for a lot of people, having coached so many people now, it's entirely themselves. It's entirely their story, their history, their preconceived notions, their assumptions. And it's really funny because for different people, certain things, there's certain kind of, you know, let's just say areas of challenge. And the people who have challenges with the SP situation in relationships in particular, there is this fight, you know, within where it's, you know, the programming is so strong from parents, you know, guardians, what have you, with the environment that produced them. And in some cases where there are traumatic experiences, that really leaves a very deep fingerprint, like footprint on your psyche. And if unhealed, it can certainly create a cycle that is rather predictable and repetitive. And so once backed up by experience over and over, you have a lifetime of these examples that demonstrate to you pretty clearly that this is who you are, essentially. And so the idea then becomes, can things be brand new? Can I change? Can it be different? Because all my life I have struggled in this department and I have no confidence. Let's just say my confidence is really low in this department. To begin with, I started out, I'm speaking for one of my clients, actually a lot of clients, not one of my clients, scratch from the record. Because I'm aware people will quote me back 300 million different ways, and everybody thinks I'm talking about them. I'm not. This is completely channeled. Um, a lot of people struggle with confidence, with self-esteem, and then on top of it, once you have the experience, the kind of the proof to back it up, it becomes a little bit challenging. Nevertheless, though, I have to say that it's entirely a choice on a daily basis who you are to become this very day. And so it's that choice that is to be made. Can I be different? Can I allow myself to be different? Can I entertain my life being exactly the way that I want it to be? Can I entertain my SP being in love with me, irregardless of anything that has transpired thus far, irregardless of how things have been in your life, period, thus far? Okay, so that purely becomes the question, I feel. Can you let in a new idea? Can you become somebody else? Okay, because your idea of yourself, of the way things work, of the way things usually go, is exactly what you plastered all over your SP. And that's what you've been witnessing, or you have witnessed, and now this is why you're not hearing from them. In addition to this, I really want to say, it is the idea of your SP that you have that conducts them. You know, if you haven't watched the live from Saturday, you should definitely go watch it. I have never explained it so clearly, and I felt it too, coming out of me. Nothing is scripted, mind you. So this is just how I roll. Everything's channeled because I feel like that's the purity of the message. I don't really need to script myself for that very reason. And so your idea of this SP is exactly what you're thinking. There's nothing really else going on other than you. And so they're made up entirely of your assumptions, of your thoughts, of your instructions. Your idea, your goal rather, and the idea is to become more aware, because things are so automatic for people. They don't even stop and think. They just go straight into this routinely, beating themselves up about a bunch of things and really throwing things out in conversation with me that really have very little to do with what kind of a person you are, which I think to me is the number one thing in the world, is the kind of person that you are, the kind of energy that you have. Nothing to do with your age. Okay, nothing to do, usually these are the arguments I get. I'm too old. This has been going on for so long. I feel very down about myself. I'm not, I never felt wanted. And this was, basically how my life has been all this time, and waited all my life for this. And it's kind of like now or never. But the idea is that usually the person isn't aware of the automatic decisions that they make. Why is it so relevant, for instance, how old you are? What difference does it make if you can start right here, right now, doing things differently? I had this conversation the other day with an acquaintance of mine. And, for those two wackadoos that were insisting on knowing my age, I'm not going to announce exactly what my age is, because I feel like whatever, who has to know? But we were having a conversation about, I was saying, life is really fantastic in your 40s, isn't it? Because that person just turned 40. I never had it any better. I was telling him, and he's like, yeah, but I think it's what you make it to be, he said. And I was like, that is so true. But see, for me, that's my mindset. I don't think of being in my 40s as something, crazy and it's not because I'm already taken. Relax, please, everybody. No, I just never thought of age being a bad thing. There's this ultra famous model, Carmen de Lorifice, and if I'm mispronouncing her last name, so please forgive me, Carmen, but she's literally been a model since the 1920s or some shit like that. I think she was born in 1920s. She became a model when I think she was 17 or something like that. And this girl, okay, is now in her 90s, fucking fabulous, if I may say so. Like, absolutely fabulous, gorgeous. If any plastic surgery, probably some. I mean, it's impossible to not have any, right? But minimum, like you wouldn't notice it. So natural, so gorgeous, thin, just energy out of the fucking wazoo. And the only time that she stopped modeling was because by choice. Okay, she just stopped right after her, I think it was around one of her marriages or something like that, for some personal reasons. That's it. Not because she was not in demand. The girl is gorgeous, like absolutely fucking bloody fantastic. So what's that? What's age got to do with it, right? So it's all about how you look at things. And you can say, up until now, yeah, all right, things have been in this manner, and I have not enjoyed the ride for the majority of the story of my life. I have not had the love affair that I wanted. I have not had the marriage I wanted. I have not had the kids that I wanted. Blah 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 blah. Whatever your situation is, but this idea that somehow there's a clock running, and you should feel this desperation, I completely disagree. I completely disagree. One, because it's not going to help you mentally. Two, because when you're frustrated about something taking so long, you're automatically delaying it. Well, we all know this, right? So, and if you don't know, then now you know. So, to me, I'm enjoying my fucking 40s to the maximum, I have to say. Why? I'll give you my personal reasons. I've never been this smart. I've never been this connected to my higher self. I've never known this much about what I wanted to do with my time. I've never been this happy because I've never known myself as much as I do today. I've never truly loved my past like I do today, because truly I found a way to not only forgive all the motherfuckers, but truly be able to be thankful for that shit that they put me through. Things that used to take me, I don't know, like literally years, I can do them in weeks now because of my expertise, because of my knowledge, because whatever. I invested time in myself, which is why I'm promoting it so much on my channel. So everything is a perspective. I can also say, well, I've been married twice and I didn't succeed in marriage, but it wasn't like that. I understand that. I've since, totally done the work on that and realized why I didn't meet the person who was on par with me. And so it leads me directly to the topic of the discussion. Can you reinvent yourself? You're going to have to become this delusional person, yes, who allows themselves to go into this reality where your SP is madly in love with you. Because you allow that reality to happen, you know that you deserve it, your confidence is through the roof, and there's nothing else stopping you. Not the age, which is nonsense. You can start at any age. Many people have. You have numerous examples. I'm not going to go into them. Not anything. Everything, all the complaints that you have about anything could be fixed if you just have this perspective of, I can start brand new. I can recreate myself. I can rebrand myself. I can completely revolutionize my life by starting to think differently. And if I allow myself to think that my SP is completely fucking gaga over me, even though I haven't seen him, even though it's been years, even I don't care what the situation is, I can drive people crazy at a distance, and I'll teach you how on Saturday. Actually, it's not a joke. I'm only laughing because it sounds so surreal to some people. Maybe I understand, like almost like a mockery. It's not. I'm teaching the real deal energy work here, but you can drive anybody crazy at a distance just by deciding to do so and sending a different thought form towards your SP. All this time, you've been programmed to not expect much. There's an automatic assumption. I'm not much. I don't deserve much. I'm not, confident. And a lot of people, I have to say, I'm talking about this over and over again because Those people end up in my coaching, and then they start telling me these stories about how they've been doing the work for years. And the fact that remains that very few people really know what the fuck they're doing as coaches and what they're delivering to their client. And I really have to say, a lot of people are under the impression that they're doing their affirmations and they're doing their visualization and do and they're doing the work. That's not the fucking work. Okay, the work, the real work is revamping yourself from the inside out, because, and out, yes, obviously, we care about 3D. We want to look stylish and beautiful and handsome and ladylike in the case of ladies. Like, that really matters, because you feel a different kind of way when you change your mind about who you are, right? If you're depressed right now, if you're crying in the corner, melting like an ice cream on the floor, yeah, you don't really feel very sexy at all. But once you turn that shit around and you start revamping yourself, what kind of emotions are you really driven by today? That's what needs to be worked out. And 100% of the time, that very much has a deep connection to your childhood. It's just the truth of this. I didn't really invent so much that. It's just psychology for you. It's just the process that I use very gently guides you from being completely desperate and depressed in some cases. And I'm not a psychologist, but having depression symptoms, all the way to really being calm, collected, understanding what to do, having manifested things already, and already had their SP in some cases, a lot of cases actually, or having made the resolution that, no, this is not the person that I want, and I'm meeting somebody else and I'm dating somebody else. It's a place where you completely resolved with all your issues. You're not bothered anymore. Okay, right now you're bothered. You're listening because you're bothered. And I don't know what your story in particular, but you know your story. And right now, you might have an idea of that this is my problem, meaning the SP, but that's not your problem. Your problem is your emotional makeup, essentially. What kind of emotional makeup did you manifest this person with? That is exactly what needs to change. If you, for a few minutes in your day, just let go of all the fears and negative beliefs and felt your true self, completely surrendered all these worries and frustrations, preconceived notions, assumptions that really aren't true, etc., etc. What is that state? This is your gut state. This is your higher self state. Can you handle being this complete and happy and at peace and really kind of, really relishing this feeling of complete freedom? Or is it going to be anxiety all over again, and you're not going to know what to make sense of here? How it makes sense that you have no worries and you're looking for drama all over again, right? So can you be, but I'm telling you, the state of God state is where you belong in the first place. In the state of God state, in your highest form, you already have everything you want. You're not questioning things. It's enough for you to just request something from the universe with feeling, with energy, and receive it in a short period of time. So somewhere down below there where you are right now, you have polluted yourself with ideas that aren't genuinely yours. And so it's about time to give people back their bullshit, give people back their beliefs. Whoever you picked up whatever from, like, let's just say, a commonly used, men always cheat, well, why is that so? Maybe in your family something happened like that, but it doesn't make every man a cheater, okay? And wouldn't beautiful girls always like, these kind of guys? No, that's not true. I can speak for myself, whatever. If I'm considered like beautiful or something, I never was attracted to the kind of guy that people said I should be attracted to, but that's a whole other story. So those are not fundamental truths. These are just preconceived notions. And you can change those notions to benefit yourself. In your world, your rules go. And so whatever rules you're going to permit to be there and operate, from an automatic pilot, then that's what will create just as automatically as before your world, but this time around you're going to choose it. You're going to replace the drama panorama, as I call it, with something that actually makes sense, okay, going forward. And the other thing I want to say to my audience, because it's a certain kind of client I attract, and I'm really kind of actually quite flattered with the kind of clients I attract. They're fabulous like that, all of them. Once in a while, some really weird person will pop in, but not for nothing, but I'm just saying. I really have to say, like, you guys are one of the few in the world that actually woke up to the fact that 3D is not all there is. And I want to say, in all honesty, this is very commendable, because throughout my day, I have to deal with different people. And I'm really often reminded that not everybody does this work, far from. It's like sometimes I look at some people and I wonder if there are any ideas in their minds. I'm so serious. They're just so not even invested in themselves. So this alone, that you're interested in bettering your life, in creating something new, and that you're aware of this possibility, is already putting you in front of everybody else, and in all cases, almost, I have clients who, are either empaths or highly intuitive, highly sensitive. And all of this, I have to say, also from my personal experience, maybe misunderstood at first, as anxiety, as inability to control your emotions. But if you really study the world of energy, you will understand that this is a precious gift of detection of energy, of other energies. And this is why it becomes ever so important to know what your energy is made of. If you know your energy so well, there's no confusion between somebody else's energy and yours. And this is how, parenthesis here, you're able to create the magic and the miracles. Then you become a really powerful manifester. People usually get anxiety because they're so bombarded with these extraneous thoughts and beliefs that don't even belong to them. They don't understand why these thoughts come over them, because it's borrowed, it's unpleasant, and or somebody else's energy. Being around somebody, walking through the crowd, things like that. If you're an empath, you understand what I'm saying. Being choosy with your entourage and this and that. To a point, you could do that, but, you live in the world, so you'll be part of different kinds of people. But if your own energy is in check, your own choices are in check, first of all, you can, like I said, create miracles, but really manifest things on purpose, irregardless of what happens, and not give so much importance of what the 3D consists of. And that's how you really understand that, number one, the change on the inside that you will create is permanent. The shifts that I offer in my coaching, they're permanent. There's no going back. Once you change your mind in a certain way, it's permanent. But, this time around, to your benefit. And then once you understand how this works, it becomes your choice. So if you have been choosing, in fact, that your SP doesn't want to prefer somebody else, something else is more important, do, not for nothing, but you've created that. But the good news is that you can also create something instead, just as powerfully, just as vehemently. You can start, really understanding that those are your thoughts going out there and creating this version of SP. And if you just as vehemently insist on this version of SP, then who can fucking argue against you? Because you're the golden Buddha and you're the center of the universe. So it isn't really, again, about anybody's free will, just like I discussed in my life. It's really about taking this story from here and turning it into success based on everything I just said, based on the knowledge of the fight is inside you. The fight is entirely inside, and everybody else is just, kind of like the mirror of everything you've got going on, which is good information. And at the same time, you start really noticing this relationship that you have with the universe, that if you change something on the inside, the outside automatically follows. It just goes like clockwork. So if you insist upon having the SP back, energetically speaking, not in with desperation, and if you insist on having your SP madly in love with you, and you're 100% married to this idea in energy, meaning there's no other thought opposing it, there doesn't need to be any other thought opposing it, because you finally realize the other thought was not even yours, not even a decision you ever made, but just followed something you picked up from somebody else. Then it becomes super simple to just choose what you want and stick to it and see the difference in the quality of your manifestations. Honk honk outside. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.